Picture yourself. Yeah, you, watching. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a bygone era, where your skin color dictates the worth assigned to you. In your hand, you hold a simple brown paper bag. This bag is a seemingly harmless reminder of division within the Black community. You find yourself devalued by your own people who perceive your darker skin tone as lower on the social hierarchy. The opportunities and social status that you hope for are denied, and you're relegated to be part of the disenfranchised group of dark-skinned Blacks, all because you were born with a darker skin color and complexion. In Black American history, there was a test that, for some, determined their worth based on the color of their skin, and this decided whether they would be accepted into the elite echelons of society or if they would be rejected. The irony of this test was that it was used against the Black community by the Black community. The idea of this division has some roots in American slavery, where colonizers or slave masters would create a color hierarchy amongst enslaved Blacks. A lighter skin tone came with the privileges not afforded to Blacks with darker skin. After emancipation in 1865, white communities tried to keep Black people both light and dark away from them, and light people tried to keep dark people away from them. For example, in the 19th century, the Blue Vein Society came into existence. There was more than one Blue Vein Society, and each excluded one whose skin was too dark to see the blue of their veins through it. However, there were exceptions for Blacks who didn't meet that standard, usually due to the wealth or other circumstances that benefited the Blue Vein Society as a whole. Colorism is defined as a form of discrimination typically within a racial or ethnic group, favoring people with lighter skin over those with darker skin. Although color stratification is a world problem across many different races and ethnicities, we'll focus this video on its impact on Black Americans. Vanessa Godlin, a researcher, emphasizes the devastating impact of colorism both within and across communities. Numerous studies conducted in 2006 consistently revealed that individuals with darker skin encounter concerning consequences. These repercussions include receiving longer prison sentences for identical crimes, declines in mental and physical health, lower marital rates among women, reduced wages for men, and being perceived as having lower intelligence. The paper bag test, or the brown paper bag test, emerged in the early 20th century, a time marked by racial segregation and colorism. The exact origin is unknown, but Henry Louis Gates Jr.'s book, The Future of the Race, mentions it may have been New Orleans, Louisiana. The paper bag test was a form of discrimination used to exclude dark-skinned Black people by comparing their skin tone to the color of a brown paper bag. Those lighter than the bag were accepted, and those darker were perceived as lower on the social hierarchy and denied opportunities. A brown paper bag became a cruel measure of one's lightness. To gain acceptance into a social club, fraternity, sorority, church, and other establishments, one's skin tone had to be the same or lighter than the color of this bag. In Michael Eric Dyson's book, Come Hell or High Water, he mentions, there is, too, a curious color dynamic that persists in our culture. In fact, New Orleans invented the brown paper bag party, usually at a gathering in a home, where anyone darker than the bag attached to the door was denied entrance. This mentality of colorism reflected itself in various other forms, such as the comb test, where you were denied certain privileges if a comb cannot easily pass through your hair. The ruler test required your hair be as straight as a ruler. And the door test, where some churches painted their doors a light shade of brown and those who were darker were refused entry. From the Journal of Health and Social Behavior, Ellis P. Monk Jr. observes in his article, Colorism and Physical Health, lighter-skinned Blacks were privileged by whites and thought to be more aesthetically appealing and intellectually superior to dark-skinned Blacks. Thinking that typically rested on the foundation of race science that held that lighter-skinned Blacks were less African and more European and thus superior to other Blacks. The adoption of such thinking by whites afforded lighter-skinned Blacks advantages in obtaining education, property, and even their freedom. Blacks of lighter complexions were more likely to be skilled workers and professionals and even own their own farms.